And it's your chance to ask us anything in Ask the Five.
And by God, beavers are back.
Well, that's quite a tone, change of tone. It's 8 p.m. This is the Saturday 5 on GBNews. Yes, welcome to the Saturday 5 Extra, where anything can happen. We've got our drinks ready to go. Cressida's in. Cressida, how are you? How's your day been?
Very well, thank you. I've been at the Battle of Ideas all day today.
How was it?
Great, full of. I'm inspired. I'm having lots of ideas.
I was there too.
I was there as a guest of Dr. Renee, who was not there, but she is speaking tomorrow. Don't miss it. What are you going to be talking about, Dr. Renee?
But should it be so difficult to feed our children?
Sounds spicy. I might tune in.
It actually is, isn't it? It really is. All my son wants is chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
That's all he wants. Like, eat some carrots.
Yes, no, that makes sense. Is it really hard, actually, Renee, to get kids to eat their vegetables?
Well, you know what? The thing is that mothers are now overwhelmed by information from so many sides that it becomes... I was at lunch today with someone with a 4-month-old, and they gave them a bottle, and then they entered what they'd given them on an app on their phone.
Oh, wow. So they're like a diet app. Are they trying to make their baby less fat?
You know, we're making it really hard, and then we're making it hard because of convenience and ultra-processed food, and I'm going to be talking about how to win the battle.
Wonderful.
Nice.
Well, we obviously want to know your views as well. The comments have been coming through all evening. We'd love to see them continue to come through in this third hour. gbnews.com/your say. Don't forget to get your questions in for Ask the Five, which we'll be doing in this hour. No topics are off limits. Before we start tearing each other apart, it's your Saturday Night News with Bethany Elthy.
Good evening. Your top stories from the GB newsroom. The family of Virginia Giuffre, who accused Prince Andrew of sexually abusing her when she was a teenager, says she's been vindicated by the stripping of his royal titles. Prince Andrew says repeated headlines about him are distracting from the work of the king, but continues to deny any wrongdoing. Andrew had already stopped using his military titles over his scandalous friendship with the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Virginia Giuffre took her own life earlier this year. Her memoir, to be released on Tuesday, will say that after reaching an out-of-court settlement, Prince Andrew imposed a 1-year gagging order against her to prevent tarnishing Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee. Hamas has announced it will hand over 2 more bodies of Israeli hostages imminently. They have so far returned 10 of the 28 deceased and all 20 living hostages. Meanwhile, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the Rafah crossing between Gaza and Egypt will remain closed until all hostages are returned home. That's despite the Palestinian embassy in Egypt announcing earlier that it would reopen on Monday, allowing Palestinians there to return home. The Home Office says it expects to hold a meeting next week to address a ban on Israeli football fans attending a game against Aston Villa in November. It wants police to set out the extra resources needed to allow the game to go ahead safely. Birmingham Council banned Maccabi Tel Aviv supporters over safety concerns after classifying the game as high risk. It's after violence occurred during a Europa League match between Ajax and Maccabi in Amsterdam last year. A new blood test could help speed up diagnosis for more than 50 types of cancer. That's according to a new study in the US, which has found the Gallery test correctly picked up a wide range of cancers at an early stage before symptoms even appeared. It's also highly accurate at ruling out cancer. The test is being trialled on the NHS and could change the way screening for the disease is carried out. Ange Postecoglou has been sacked as head coach of Nottingham Forest after less than 40 days in the position. The announcement came after the side's 3-0 defeat against Chelsea at the City Ground, adding to the no-win streak of the last 8 matches. Forest owner Evangelos Marinakis is now on the hunt for a third manager already this season. And 2 British women have become the first all-female rowing crew to travel 8,000 miles across the Pacific non-stop and unsupported. Jess Rowe and Miriam Payne arrived on Australia's east coast this morning after a gruelling 6-month journey from Peru. They'll speak to GB News tomorrow morning on Breakfast with Stephen and Anne. You're up to date. I'll have more for you in an hour's time.
Man.
Welcome back to the Saturday Night 5 Extra on GB News. A couple of great comments that have already come in on your say. Claire, identity politics is definitely getting worse under Labor. They want to put us all in victim categories where white, heterosexual male Brits are at the very bottom of the pile, followed by white, heterosexual females. Yes, no, I must agree that this victim or this oppressive oppressed narrative is all so very tiresome. Lenora, Ian Duncan Smith, smashing to see him on the Saturday 5, always talks sense, good show. Yeah, he was brilliant. Obviously, Serene, open invitation to come back whenever you want.
We really need to just put Serene in charge of China policy. That's it, don't we?
Absolutely right. Well, it's just amazing how many people, I think, skirt around the issue of China. So to hear it said so clearly and so unambiguously is really important. Let's get to Ask the Five. The first question is from Tony. Tony asks, should Prince Andrew be removed from the line of succession or be banished? And I will go to Cressida first.
No, because we'll have to hear about it. I mean, OK, banished, if you properly mean banished, like just gone out of my mind, fine. Yeah, I'm up for that. But I don't want to hear any more about this now. He's finally relinquished his titles. He's gone. We're done with it. Yeah. I didn't even really feel like that was news, because of course he has. We know he's in the sin bin of the country.
But he does remain number 5 in the succession. So God forbid there was some awful accident, he could be king.
I just don't feel like I want to waste any more of my brain cells. I mean, you're right, but how unlikely is that?
Yeah, I agree. And we touched on this earlier, didn't we? It's just forget it.
Forget the royal family.
No, not the royal family.
You agree with me, Bruce?
No, because it was never about forgetting the royal family, because I still hold an element of... I'm a bit of a royalist. I like our heritage. I like what they represent, but I just think they need to be brought into the future. I think we need to move on to the next generation. I think the old funny
move on to more mature ways of running a country than just letting, by sortition, some random act of kindness.
Will did come out and say, didn't he? He said that when he ascends, or whatever the terminology is these days, when he ascends to being king, he would make grand change. The question is what?
Probably go vegan. He'll transition. That's what it's going to be.
He's a military man. You'd like to think that there's something rubbed off him.
Well, the one thing I would say is that all of the reports would suggest that he was integral in actually pushing the king towards making this decision around Andrew. So it does sound like there is certainly some backbone there.
Why don't you give Cressida her wish and move on from Andrew?
Yes.
That's a fair question. In which case, I'll move to a question from Bridget. And Bridget asks, is Labor trying to scrap the upcoming local elections, Renee?
Yes, and it's an absolute travesty. I mean, look, you know, they say that if democracy worked, they wouldn't let us vote, and they don't want us to vote because they're terrified of the democracy that is coming their way, that's coming to Wales next year when Kai will owe me £5,000. And they're terrified of large areas of the country turning Reform blue. So they're just going to cancel your ability.
They're not going to cancel elections.
But they are
delaying elections.
That's the same
by the request of councils. Like, oh my God.
Who's the councils? Labour, Conservative, Lib Dem.
Well, they're not going to keep delaying them forever,
but they're doing it for a reason.
Elections happening
undermining democracy.
There are plenty of elections happening next May that were delayed last year, and all of you kicked up a fuss saying they were cancelling elections. Well, that is tosh.
Well, Kyle, one question I would ask. Do you think the top brass amongst Labor circles have resigned themselves now to losing the next election?
Yeah. They're terrified, obviously. That can sit alongside disavowing this nonsense that we're cancelling elections in this sort of anti-democratic fashion.
Some of these councillors in those areas are going to have been in position for 7 years, Kai. That is not democracy. That is a dictatorship.
And they are putting rules in. They've actually... They are putting new rules in with the Electoral Commission. Don't quote me on these. I did some loose research on it. No, but they are influencing the Electoral Commission and how they operate. And they've done this in the past. They've made it very difficult for parties like the Green Party, like Reform UK, to gain traction. And I think what's actually happening is they're realising that first past the post is now going to be used against them, and they will do everything they can to maintain that gravy
But that
train.
makes it sound like they do think they've still got a chance, and surely at this point they don't.
Under a rigged system.
Well, look, we do know 3.5 years is a long, long time. So no one can count their chickens. There needs to be a broader conversation around councils in this country. There are too many people who don't care about fixing potholes or sweeping the streets and instead think of themselves as political activists on the grand stage. Just do the job. That's my 2 cents for what it's worth. Question for Evelyn. Is Carol Vorderman the Grim Reaper of is Carol Vorderman the Grim Reaper on bad politics as she now supports Zach Polansky? Cressida.
Well, I think he was... I think he could make his own mess without Carol Vorderman. I think he was doing just fine. Having said that, it is a bit comic, isn't it, given Carol's recreational body enhancements and Zach's...
Well, maybe she's a former client.
Well, maybe she is a former client. I wonder. But yeah, I mean, Grim Reaper. How long can Zach Polansky carry on being Zach Polansky?
Well, it's interesting.
As long as possible, I hope, because he's crucifying himself. He's some of the nonsense, Kai. Some of the stuff that man is coming out with is insane.
No, but I think
legalising drugs. What did he come out with last week?
How was that?
Come on,
Bruce, the
like he's talking about Class A drugs as well.
Yeah.
And people are doing them anyway. Look, but the thing is about Zach Polansky is you may not agree with him, but there are many people in this country who clearly he gives a voice to. And actually what I welcome from Zach Polansky is actually he says what he thinks in the same way that people compliment Farage for, and he comes out strongly in favour of one thing or the other. Now, I think it's drawing from the same populist playbook that Farage and Trump do. I don't welcome that, but at least he has an opinion. At least he's going for it.
And also, how many times have we heard his name in the last few weeks?
Yeah.
He's obviously getting cut through in a way which a lot of former Greens leaders haven't.
He is, but going back to Evelyn's question, if you actually look at what Carol Vorderman stood for when she ranted her way all the way to the election, was, power being taken from the oligarchs into the people, giving more money to the people.
Yes.
Zach Polansky is going to bankrupt the country in a week.
Yeah.
So, those poor people are not getting anything.
We're going bankrupt anyway, so we might as well do it.
Thanks to Labour.
Quickly rather than slowly.
Reform is now obviously an existential risk to threat to the Conservative Party. Do you think there could be a world where the Greens would ever be an existential risk to the Labor Party?
Yes. This world. We're living in it. The Labour are being squeezed from the left and the right, and the Greens will gain popularity precisely because Labour have decided to focus more on the threat from reform because it was what was right in front of them, rather than see that actually by doing that they're going to put off a vast swathe of voters who are now consider voting Zach Polansky.
I made a prediction. 2024, prior to the general election, we all knew Labour were going to get in just because of our system and because of the way the country votes. We all knew Labour were going to get in. I just can't believe they got the seats they got. I said 2029 we'd have a Reform UK government, Liberal Democrat opposition. Now I believe it will be Lib and Green coalition.
Well,
to be opposition.
What, as government or as opposition?
Opposition.
Okay.
And then when reform fail, what then comes in its place?
We all leave.
We can cover that later.
Hopefully.
I think the country would be very lucky if we were to get a change of government. But you know what would also be incredibly lucky? Your chance to win one of the great prizes. Yes, a 4-berth motorhome and £30,000 in tax-free cash. It's the Great British Giveaway. There's just 2 weeks left to get your entry in. Unbelievable. Here's all the details you need to make it yours.
There's 2 weeks remaining in our latest greatest giveaway, and a prize worth over £104,000 really could be yours. You could be in the driving seat at this Benamar Primera motorhome. This luxurious home from home comes with all the mod cons, comfortably sleeps your family of 4, and comes fully kitted out with bicycle rack and side awning. Plus, you can use it with your current driving licence. We'll also boost your bank account with a whopping £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend on anything you like. It only takes one one entry to become a winner. And that winner really could be you. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Absolutely wonderful. Coming up, and this is a question when I started my media career, is one I probably didn't expect to be asking on national television. How fat is too fat to be Santa? We'll find out next as we're joined by a very special guest on the Saturday 5.
Kai.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
360,000 people are without a home, thousands of whom are on the street, but most living in terrible, terrible conditions, bed-sits, awful B&Bs above rows of shops and hostels. 160,000 of those are children. Can you imagine trying to perform at school or in your job? And this is a crisis, Dawn, and it costs billions. That's the worst thing. We spend about £4 billion a year dealing with this, and it's just getting worse and worse.
Well, let's talk about those 160,000 children, because that's the thing that affected me when I read it this morning. Couldn't believe the numbers of children that are homeless in this country. How is this happening, Andy?
What's happening, Ellie? It's complex, but the biggest single issue, the simplest issue, is that we do not have enough homes. We don't build enough. To put it really simply, if you have a population of 10 people and you have 9 homes, somebody is going to be without a home, and that's what we've got. So when we don't build enough, somebody loses out. It's gone on for decades, by the way. Somebody loses out, and it's always going to be the poorest. It's the people who live the most chaotic lives, or have the least money, are going to be at that bottom and falling out of it. And it's absolute chaos. Ellie, the worst thing about this, it's really fixable. We can get people off the streets. We can create the medium-term accommodation to transition people from the streets, from shelters, into more permanent places. We can do this by reprioritising some of the 2.8 billion. We spend 2.8 billion quid just sticking people into really expensive overnight B&Bs. As I say, awful, crummy places above kebab shops where kids are growing up for months on end and struggling with lack of space. We can fix it, but there just isn't the political will.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to the Saturday 5. Now, how fat is too fat to be Santa Claus? It might sound unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen, but sadly, as one Santa has found out after he was rejected by an immersive Lapland experience in Windsor, all because he couldn't fit into his Christmas suit. To discuss this, I'm pleased to welcome Santa Claus. Santa, welcome to the Saturday 5. I know it's obviously a bit early in the season for you, so appreciate you taking the time. Tell us this story. What's happened here?
Well, it's never too early, to get involved in all this. It's lovely to see you guys and boys and girls. What happened? Well, I got this gig, you see, at Santaland or Lapland in Ascot in Windsor Great Park, and they've been chasing me for about 3 years. Funny enough, I've been doing this job for many years. And what happened was I got the job, got my measurements, and they got everything all done. I passed the auditions, did everything I had to do. And then about 3 weeks ago, I was asked to go to the wardrobe for a wardrobe fitting. And again, they had my measurements. I walked in, I went to my little cubicle. My clothes were all lined up nicely on a peg. And then I thought they looked a little bit small to me, but never mind. So I tried the shirt on, that didn't fit. So they said, don't worry, we've got another one. So they gave me one slightly larger. And that was still a little bit tight. And then came like lederhosen, which I've never had to put on before, so someone helped me put those on. And gosh, they were tight. But they were okay. And then I got a waistcoat put on, and I felt someone messing around behind me, and I assumed they were cutting the back up. You can see that photo you put up just before. And that's the first time I saw that photo, by the way, was just about a week ago. When I suddenly got an email from Lapland UK to say, I'm very sorry, Mike, as much as we thought you were perfect for the part, your outfit doesn't fit you and you're just too big for it. And we're not prepared to get you a larger outfit.
Well, the last thing I want to do is fat shame anyone on national television, but I do have to ask, have they sneakily changed the costumes from last Christmas? Or perhaps have you committed more fully to your role as Santa?
That is their own outfit, and every Santa who works at Lapland has to wear that outfit. So it's not the traditional outfit. It's not like I'm wearing now. I've been wearing these for years. So it's nothing like this. So what you've got is what you see there. You can see the way they've split the back of the waistcoat up there to fit me. So yes, that's their outfit, and it's got to be that way. And all the Santas there, and there's like 52 Santas they've taken on, and they've got over 350,000 bookings, and they're all going to see Santa, not realising, of course, they're going to see quite a few Santas. But that's the way it looks.
Santa, I mean, I am absolutely heartbroken for you. And as a doctor, I'm not even going to go near whether or not you should be as heavy as you are. But what I want to say is that the outfit that you have on now, your proper Santa outfit, looks absolutely splendid to me. So could you not go ready dressed as you are?
No, they have a set outfit, and that's the outfit, and that's the way you got to go. Oh, there's me there. Don't I look good? But that's it. That is my suit. That is a normal, but it's very much almost like a Swiss outfit they're putting on there, isn't it? Really Austrian.
You look quite svelte to me in that picture, Santa.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that a fat. That's a good look. That's the Santa I expect in good shape. Santa, I'm concerned about the reindeer. I mean, presumably, are you going to be able to carry on working with them? We're all animal lovers here on this show. Are you going to... Does the relationship continue? I know, like, when people have police dogs, they retire with them, that kind of thing. What's going to happen?
No, my wife and I both adore animals. We're actually animal mad. But I did notice, of course, there's an opening now at Nottingham Forest, so I might be able to get a job there. But I certainly do need some work. And, of course, going the way they go at Nottingham Forest, I could be able to work by the end of the year. So it could work out quite nicely, actually, just work for just a couple of months. But I was fully booked all the way from November to December up to Christmas Eve. And you know, my age, and I'm over 300 years old now, it's you know, the government's taken away my heating allowance, which of course is important to me. I've had to spend extra money on the reindeers to feed them, and Mrs. Claus is very busy feeding them in the fields right now at this time of night. Yes, indeed, she works hard.
You've been doing this a long time, Santa. Over that period of time, have you noticed any changes in the way that we think about Christmas, the way we approach the festive season?
Yes, it starts earlier each year, doesn't it, really? By the way, let me take away one fallacy. I mean, we're all DBS checks, so we've got police checks on us to make sure that we're proper and we can look after children. But one of the rules was not having children sit on your laps. That's a fallacy, because most of the time, parents will throw children onto your lap. You've got no choice. In wet, dry, whatever, they land on you. And,
I go back to my point, Santa, that they're just sucking the fun out of life, aren't they?
No. Yes, without a doubt. No, they are. I mean, you know, life isn't what it used to be. We're living in a bit of a depression at the moment, sadly. And people like me want to bring joy to the world and make the children enjoy Christmas. It's a joy. Oh, we're not allowed to say Christmas anymore. I forgot about it. But seriously, it's amazing. It's got to be life. We've got to enjoy it.
Well, Santa, I believe your alter ego, someone by the name of Mike Mendoza, you appear to be a wonderful representative of the Christmas spirit. I'm sure there will be plenty of people out
and not
there.
too obese.
And looking in good shape. Plenty of people out there who would be more than happy to have you as their Santa. If there is anyone watching on GB News in need of a Santa, reach out to us because I can see very few better than you. Santa Claus, what an absolute privilege. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And a Merry Christmas to you all, by the way. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Never a moment too soon.
I would dare say there'd be very few shows on television where you would speak to Sir Ian Duncan Smith and Santa Claus in the same 1.5 hour period.
Pretty good lineup.
This is really interesting because a couple of years ago, because my daughter really wanted to meet Santa, my other half arranged a call for her, a video call from Lapland, and she watched it with great suspicion, and he was nowhere like that Santa, of course. And by the end of it, and we finished the call, she said, "That's not Santa." So we went, "What do you mean? How do you know?" She said, "He's not fat enough."
Yeah, you got
His tummy's not big enough.
There's a look. There's a look. I think he looked brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Especially for somebody that lives off sherry and mince pies. I wouldn't look like that good if that's what I did.
That's right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for this week's High Fives, our favourite uplifting moments of the past week. And we'll be doing that straight after this break.
Can't wait to get in that sea.
Lovely and warm.
Just like the feeling of having great travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
The best place to be across the Mediterranean at the moment is Italy. A lot of fine weather following some wet conditions earlier in the week. That wet weather now moving into Greece and another spell of rain on the way for parts of Portugal, northwest Spain as well, a damp spell here, but with southwesterly winds, temperatures actually above average. And then this gap in systems through the central part of the Mediterranean, plenty of sunshine through Italy, rain clouds clearing into Greece, very wet indeed for Athens.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Good evening and welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Well, low pressure is returning, bringing outbreaks of rain and stronger winds, followed by blustery showers as we go through tomorrow and into the new week. So we lose this area of our high pressure that's moving its way eastwards, replaced by low pressure out to the west. So back to the rest of this evening. The clearest skies and holding on to the driest conditions across eastern areas. Otherwise, outbreaks of rain, heaviest and most persistent, moving in from the west, especially across Northern Ireland and the far southwest into Devon and Cornwall. Otherwise, with the strong winds, the cloud, the outbreaks of rain, it is going to be a mild start to Sunday morning. So having a look at Sunday morning across Scotland, that's where we hold on to some glimmers of brightness first thing across the far north, but out to the west, that's where we're already seeing outbreaks of rain. Now, the heaviest rain is going to be across Northern Ireland, most persistent here, especially to the south and east. That's where there is a yellow Met Office warning, where we could see some localised flooding in places. Otherwise, outbreaks of rain again across western areas, but drier to the southeast of England to start Sunday morning. But that will soon be replaced by cloud and outbreaks of rain as this band of rain pushes its way north and eastward. So as we come into Sunday afternoon, many places seeing a pretty unsettled end to the weekend. But there will be some glimmers of sunshine just coming in to the far southwest of England and Northern Ireland later on in the day. Otherwise, temperatures holding up around 15 or 16 degrees. So through Monday, we hold on to the area of low pressure, some strong winds across the south, but also some blustery showers, heavy and possibly thundery, driest across Scotland, where we'll see some sunshine. We'll hold on to some showers on Tuesday, but generally a bit drier, and then some longer spells of rain for some of us on Wednesday. Bye-bye.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to the Saturday Five, the People's Show on the People's Channel, and dare I say it, Santa's choice for his political commentary. It's now time for High Five, where we discuss our favourite moments from the past week. I will kick off. Regular viewers will know that I quite enjoy teasing Alex Armstrong for his shameless self-promotion on a regular basis. He quite fairly, after I called that out in the earlier hours, said, "Will, you are a massive hypocrite," and that is, of course, entirely true. In the past week, I had the great privilege of speaking to one of my journalistic heroes, Megyn Kelly, which was a thrill, and it was exciting for two reasons. Number one, it was just exciting to speak to someone who I greatly admired, but number two, it was exciting because Megyn found out about us by watching the Saturday Five. Here's a clip.
Well, so you go out on your show and said in part the following. This is on the show, the Saturday Five on GB News 7.
I'm done. I'm done with the euphemisms. I'm done with the crocodile tears. I'm done with the calls for unity. I'm done being told not to hate. And I'm done skirting around uncomfortable truths.
You reminded me a lot of my pal Charlie Kirk as I watched you, because this is a third rail, one of the ones you're not allowed to touch, especially in the UK, and you fully embraced it. Tell me why. Like, was it just the Yom Kippur attack or was it more?
No, it's more than that. And, you know, rewatching that monologue, I stand by what I said. Probably may have gone a bit too heavy on the orange, on the makeup, rewatching that again, but we...
Some of the best people do.
I think, again, it was a lovely conversation because I think Megyn hit on something which we pride ourselves on, which is basically attacking the uncomfortable truths. We'll have fun, we'll do the Santa stuff, we'll do all that kind of stuff, but also we're not afraid on this show or on this channel to tackle, to her comment, the third rail. So that was, I think, you know, it was a nice moment, but I think it was also a lovely moment for GB News as well.
You know that I'm actually in love with Megyn Kelly, so I was very excited for you about this. I even helped with it for you. But you are watching you, we're watching you, then asking us to celebrate you watching you.
It's about as narcissistic as you can possibly get.
It really is.
You know, I've been now doing this show for ages. If you haven't already recognised the levels of narcissism by now, then obviously you're not paying enough attention.
And can I just say that Alex Armstrong did tell us in the green room that if we didn't tell you how narcissistic he was, he would march himself into this studio and tell you himself, and he is completely right in that. Congratulations, Will. But, you know...
I think that is a pretty reasonable argument to make.
And, you know, I retweeted it. I thought it was...
That mono was, pretty fiery, I remember.
Everyone knows that we are making a big push in the US, 12 o'clock till 2 o'clock tonight. We have Bev and Ben who are doing wonderful work there, so it is just fantastic to see GB News now getting that level of acclaim in the United States. Renee, your high five, please.
So I watched this in the week, and every time I've seen this video, I have been reduced to tears. So I'm just going to let it play. I mean, what can one say? Every time I've watched that, people that have been missing for 2 years come home, and those parents and those brothers and those sisters and those nieces and aunties never thought they would see those people again.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? I almost feel like it's so special and private. I'm kind of surprised I'm allowed to see it. You know, it's so raw.
Yeah.
And of course, it's just the beginning of a journey for those people, isn't it? You know, it's not the end of what they've got to get to grips with.
It's the road to recovery, isn't it? It's the aftermath, the dealing with what's happened. But it's warming, isn't it? Heartwarming.
It is heartwarming. To take it into the political realm ever so briefly, whatever you may think of Donald Trump, whatever you may think of his character, whatever you may think of his weaknesses, there is no doubt this is an extraordinary geopolitical accomplishment.
Yeah.
An extraordinary accomplishment. And so to see the fruits of that accomplishment in a video like that is, you're right, Renee, it really is heartwarming. Cressida, what was your high five from the last week?
OK, well, it might not be as high. But, you know, last week we talked a little bit about child labour. No, we didn't. We were joking. This week I genuinely have a 2-year-old who's making his way in the world. This is a 2-year-old called Jude from Manchester who's
a chimney sweep.
No, he's not a chimney sweep, but I bet he could be because he's very good with a pool cue. He's good at playing pool. He's only 2 and he's got 19,000 Twitter followers.
Wow.
And the first video of him potting some pool balls got 10 million likes. So this kid, you're looking at me like you think it's a bad thing.
No, I think it's amazing. You know what? None of these kids are going to have jobs in the future, so this is great.
He's already an influencer.
I believe we have a clip of the young fella.
Excellent.
Year-old snooker star.
It's mad, isn't it?
That's extraordinary.
That is impressive,
Most
to be honest.
2-year-olds would just put it through the green.
Well, me and my mates used to play a bit of snooker, and I can assure you it's not as easy as people think. That's pretty impressive. He's got the next Ronnie O'Sullivan, maybe.
Kai, what were you doing when you were 2?
Not that. I'm not a sporting champ, I must say. So this kid already has one up on me.
Probably throwing his toys out of the pram.
Probably. And that is a tradition I have proudly continued.
I think it's a lovely high five.
Hopefully, though, because you see these child prodigies, whether it be golf or tennis or snooker, and it can go either way because you can get those parents who really go, right, OK,
Especially with the Greens legalising drugs.
That's right. Well done to that young lad. Bruce, what have you got for your high five for the week?
So, as we're on the subject of China this week, an extraordinary incident happened in the Saizhou, Jiangsu province in China on October the 14th after swerving to avoid an elderly woman on an electric bike, trapping the driver inside. I don't know if we've got the video for this. We've got the video for this. A miracle happened. Yep. Wow. Yeah. The Audi went into the river, and Di Shengcheng, 40, bravely leapt into the water and smashed the sunroof in to pull the gentleman out.
That's an impressive man. And was the old lady OK?
I think so.
OK.
Renee, I won't ask this of you because of your profession. Has anyone ever been in one of those situations where there has been an emergency and you've had to jump into the face of danger?
Can't say
I don't know about danger. I helped a lady once when her dog had been knocked over, and she was in. I know she was in a bit of a. She couldn't think because she was so stressed, and that sort of helped her a bit.
Yeah.
Not as dramatic as that though, and I don't know if I'd have the presence of mind to smash a window and get him out like that. Very good.
When I was a little kid, we spotted a fire in my neighbour 3 doors down's house, and my dad ran in and threw some buckets in, and I was just little, but. Yeah, so it was nothing to do with me. I just watched and clapped my dad.
I think I mentioned this on the show a while ago. I tripped over a homeless person once, and that was a level of stress which I don't want to trip. Well, the thing is, if you're on Regent Street, don't be on your phone for 2 reasons. Number 1, it'll get stolen because it's Sadiq Khan's London. But number 2, if you're just tweeting away, you don't notice the ankle that's just popping out. So then you go, what?
This is like the 3rd time that you mentioned this on this show, and it paints you in a horrible light. Like,
we're on the subject of terrorism,
person once, and it makes you look.
It's another day for you and me in paradise.
Yeah. Look, after the shameless narcissism earlier, and now me tripping over homeless people, it really is my goal just to ruin my reputation on live television minute by minute.
Luckily, I think I'm next for the high five, so I can continue to plumb the depths, can't I? Distract from you, and I think that the production team flashed up a little strap for you just earlier. They were pushing into beavers a bit too early, so I can imagine the audience are licking their lips at the prospect of finding out about a new rewilding initiative in Lincolnshire, which is transforming 600 acres of land that is considered too hard to farm. It's the first large-scale implementation of a flagship government programme that seeks to create some ecological revival, which is going to introduce large grazing animals as well as beavers to this 600-acre site. So, what great news. More of that, please.
Well, as everyone knows, there is no news station that champions the beaver quite like Saturday 5, something I'm immensely proud of. There's a serious point to be made here, and that is with the rise of climate alarmism and global warming, I think practical environmentalism has been lost.
Did you scare quotes global warming?
Global warming.
All right.
There's less of this sort of practical environmentalism, picking up rubbish, rehabilitating environments. I think that's why this is so encouraging to see. What do you make of it,
They're so cute, aren't they? I mean, beavers are just adorable. And on top of that, they're fantastic home builders. So really, they're kind of a mascot for what we need in the UK right now.
Well, and also, they're better at managing waterways and wastewater than we are. We saw in China, the beavers built that dam in 7 days that they'd been, or not China, somewhere, where they'd been trying to build it for 7 years.
Bruce, are you partial to a beaver on a Saturday night?
More beavers in the countryside, I say.
More beavers in the countryside, I like that a lot.
I've had a note in my ear from the producer. I was expecting something really serious. He said, don't forget the pigs and ponies were involved.
Oh, sorry.
There were pigs.
Okay.
There were pigs, there were ponies, but they've got not a patch on the beaver.
That incredibly important piece of information. So beavers, pigs
are very
ponies.
clever.
Pigs are a dime a dozen, Renee, but beavers are forever. That's as Shirley Bassey once said.
And the lefty is piggist.
I think that is going to be the title of the next James Bond film. Coming up on the Saturday 5 Extra. There's that guy again. Zach Polanski's power of enlargement put to the test as we go through our final triggered tantrums.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
Because
the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain. So he can say whatever he wants. A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country. There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor. Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk
No,
now?
that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m. only on GB News.
Welcome back to the Saturday 5 Extra, the People's Show on the People's Channel. Messages continue to come in thick and fast. Thank you very much for that. Gaynor Moore says, I think in 20 years' time, Kai will look back at the Saturday 5 and say to himself, what on earth was I wearing? I wonder whether, you know, well, we look at it, you know, on a nightly basis and wonder what on earth you're wearing. It's just lefties are 20 years
We'll
behind.
probably all be wearing uniforms in 20 years' time.
Exactly. And that's why I will continue to wear whatever I like.
And more power to you. Grumpy Grandad, long live the beaver. Get that suit back on, Kai.
Oh, who knows? Maybe I'll treat you.
Mr. Beaver.
Mr. Beaver, as Anne Widdecombe said in that interview when I was indeed dressed as a beaver. I have actually bought it, as Grumpy Grandad no doubt remembers, because he is intent on reminding me of that episode in particular. I did actually buy the suit because of the difficulty of renting a beaver suit. It turns out it's difficult.
Anne-Marie, great news for the beavers. No need to build a settlement because they can make their homes underneath all those solar panels about to be sited in Lincolnshire. You'll find them lying on them sunbathing come June. So maybe, you know, this stupid renewables push isn't all bad. Cressida, what have you got for us for a trigger tantrum?
Shall I describe it or we're just going to show it?
Give us a bit of context.
Okay, well, I would describe it as a bit of fun, or a pair of fun bags, maybe. I don't know, that's not appropriate. This is a meme that's doing the rounds on Twitter. It's Zach Polanski having a chat with Tom Slater of Spiked. Especially like the wriggly fingers at the end there, just extra creepy.
There may be context required for people who haven't followed.
Oh, well, if people don't know, Zach Polanski is famous for thinking that he can convince... Well, how does it work? He can make women have bigger breasts just by... Right, by hypnotising them.
Manifest it. Is it manifestation? Is
this his pre-politics career? He was selling sessions to women where he would hypnotise them into... And the idea was that they would then grow bigger breasts.
This could be very useful in his future career in the Greens because he will obviously need to be convincing men that they can be women.
Well, what I like about that fact is that Zach Polanski is openly gay. And so actually... The hypnotism of women and women's breasts is actually just pure love of the game and nothing to do with just pure just ridiculousess, and rather than actually some sort of attraction to women. Grifting.
I think it is a grift.
It's a grift question, though, Bruce. Like, this is obviously so dumb.
Yeah.
Do you think something so incredibly stupid should disqualify you from political office?
No, actually, because I think it does the Greens so many favours. In the sense that it pushes loads of people to our side. No. This was when we were talking earlier about his policy. This just highlights the lunacy of his leadership. There's nothing good coming out of what he's saying or doing.
Well, except some people might disagree. Some people walking out there with double D breasts might disagree. Who knows?
I have been asked to remind viewers that is an AI-generated clip, and Tom Slater's breast didn't actually get bigger.
So he can get his money back for that, then.
Yeah, exactly right. Make of that what you will. Kai.
My trigger tantrum is a clip from what I consider to be one of the heroes of modern political history, and she's finally having her moment when she can tell us all what she really thinks of US politics. Let's take a look at this clip.
Why did you refuse the National Guard on January 6th?
Shut up. I did not refuse the National Guard. The president didn't send it. Why are you coming here with Republican talking points as if you're a serious journalist?
The American people want to know. We still have questions.
Yes, that's Nancy Pelosi, the former Speaker of the House of Representatives in the United States, who I think had similar leaked clips from when the insurrection in the Capitol happened, and Nancy Pelosi was videos talking about what she thought of Donald Trump. And this is, what she thinks of journalists who try to peddle mistruths to her, and she really rightly puts them in their place.
Do you know what I like about that clip is that you'd never get any politician in the UK being as bold as that and arguing back, and I actually quite admire her for doing it.
Yeah, it's a good look.
Yeah, we've lost that in our politics, haven't we? The days of
John Prescott
thumping someone.
Yes.
Well, that would be an ongoing
that's what
court case.
people like Nigel Farage,
Yes.
isn't it? And that's what I recognise, is that the left, and particularly the Labour Party, well, actually, this is the Conservatives as well. These party machines that train politicians to say nothing are eating themselves now, and this is the result.
Yeah.
People want a bit of interaction, don't they?
People want to feel like it's authentic.
They want character. They want people that have got character.
This is the tragedy of the moment we currently find ourselves in that people crave authenticity, and yet we have a leader who is arguably the most inauthentic leader in the history of the United Kingdom. It is just so out of touch with the mood of the moment. It's a real shame. Kai, your final thoughts?
My final thoughts now go Nancy Pelosi. Woo, woo, woo. She was one of the other thing about Nancy Pelosi, and you talk to any. Well, in fact, so I worked briefly. I worked briefly for Nancy Pelosi over a summer in Washington DC, and you talk to anybody who's worked with her. She's one of the most hard-working, operationalised politicians you could ever meet.
Well,
and I think we need more of that as well in our politics.
We do need more of that, that's true. That's all we have time for on the Saturday 5. Thank you so much to the panel, as well as our lovely guests, including Ian Duncan-Smith and Santa Claus. Thank you for joining us in the audience. Alex Armstrong, what do you have coming up tonight?
Well, thank you very much, Will. We've got a very, very big show coming up for you tonight. Maccabi fans, of course, banned from coming to the match coming up shortly, of course, in the UK. We're going to be digging into what this means for Britain. Is this Islamist sectarianism, and is it on the rise, and who is responsible? Should we be banning the burqa? Portugal and Italy are following and leading the way. Why are we not doing that here? That and so much more with my sterling guests. I will see you in just a few moments.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good evening and welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Well, low pressure is returning, bringing outbreaks of rain and stronger winds, followed by blustery showers as we go through tomorrow and into the new week. So we lose this area of our high pressure that's moving its way eastwards, replaced by low pressure out to the west. So back to the rest of this evening. The clearest skies and holding on to the driest conditions across eastern areas. Otherwise, outbreaks of rain, heaviest and most persistent, moving in from the west, especially across Northern Ireland and the far southwest into Devon and Cornwall. Otherwise, with the strong winds, the cloud, the outbreaks of rain, it is going to be a mild start to Sunday morning. So having a look at Sunday morning across Scotland, that's where we hold on to some glimmers of brightness first thing across the far north, but out to the west, that's where we're already seeing outbreaks of rain. Now, the heaviest rain is going to be across Northern Ireland, most persistent here, especially to the south and east. That's where there is a yellow Met Office warning, where we could see some localised flooding in places. Otherwise, outbreaks of rain again across western areas, but drier to the southeast of England to start Sunday morning. But that will soon be replaced by cloud and outbreaks of rain as this band of rain pushes its way north and eastward. So as we come into Sunday afternoon, many places seeing a pretty unsettled end to the weekend. But there will be some glimmers of sunshine just coming in to the far southwest of England and Northern Ireland later on in the day. Otherwise, temperatures holding up around 15 or 16 degrees. So through Monday, we hold on to the area of low pressure, some strong winds across the south, but also some blustery showers, heavy and possibly thundery, driest across Scotland, where we'll see some sunshine. We'll hold on to some showers on Tuesday, but generally a bit drier, and then some longer spells of rain for some of us on Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
There's 2 weeks remaining in our latest, greatest giveaway. You could be in the driving seat of this Benamar Primera motorhome. This luxurious home from home comes with all the mod cons. Plus, you can use it with your current driving licence. We'll also boost your bank account with a whopping £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend on anything you like. It only takes one entry to become a winner. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Bold. They are under no illusion.
Ray.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get this on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What we're going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
no,
isn't it?
No,
because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
I think for far too long in this country, millions of people felt as though they weren't represented at all by the establishment media.
GB News was needed because there literally was no other voice. Everyone was saying the same thing.
GB News exists because there is a desperate need for fearless journalism that puts